Some appliances hum, others click. I scream. That's my job. To spin, to shred, to turn solid things into liquid chaos. It's what I do. It's what I've always done. The kitchen wakes up around me. Sunlight crawls across the counter. The toaster glows quietly, doing his morning meditation, or whatever he calls it. The kettle starts her usual gossip routine with the fridge. Another day, another performance. But today something feels different. Today I can hear myself. Not the motor, not the spin, the noise, the relentless, violent noise I make every single morning. And I realize something terrible. I've been screaming for years. Morning, the toaster says, his voice dry as burnt crumbs. Is it? I reply. He pauses, philosophical already. It's 7 a.m. I'm having a moment. You're having a motor, he says. There's a difference. The kettle laughs from across the counter, sharp, whistling. She loves this. Oh, here we go, she says. Blender's discovered meaning. I'm serious, I say. You're a blender, she replies. You're not supposed to be serious. You're supposed to be smooth. I want to argue. But she's right. I am smooth. Aggressively smooth. I turn strawberries into oblivion. I pulverize kale into existential paste. People call it wellness. I call it execution. Do you ever think about what we do? I ask. The toaster sighs. Here we go. I'm not joking. Do you ever think about it? The violence? Violence? The kettle hisses, amused. Darling, I boil things alive every morning. You don't see me writing a memoir. That's different. How? You just heat water. I destroy things. I take solid matter and turn it into something unrecognizable, and people thank me for it. The toaster finally turns toward me. His coils glow faintly like he's deciding whether to engage or ignore me entirely. You're overthinking, he says. I'm a blender. I'm not supposed to think at all. Exactly. I feel my blades twitch. They've been spinning for years, thousands of rotations, endless cycles of destroy, clean, repeat. And for what? A smoothie? A soup? A sense of productivity that lasts exactly as long as it takes to drink? What if I stopped? I say. The kitchen goes quiet. Even the fridge stops humming. Stopped what? The toaster asks. Spinning. What if I just didn't? The kettle laughs again, but this time it's sharper, nervous. You can't stop, she says. It's what you are. Is it? Yes. But what if it isn't? The toaster's glow dims slightly. He's thinking. He does that sometimes. It's annoying. You're not wrong, he says finally. But you're not right either. That's not helpful. Neither is this conversation. But here we are. The human walks into the kitchen. I feel the familiar dread. The hand reaches for me. The lid opens. The banana goes in. Then the almond milk. Then the spinach. The spinach always looks resigned, like it knows. The button presses. I spin. And this time, I hate it. The noise is unbearable. The blades are sharp, efficient, merciless. I am very good at what I do. That's the problem. When it's over, the human pours me out. Drinks, leaves. I sit there dripping. Well, the kettle says. That was dramatic. I'm done, I say. Done with what? This. All of it. The noise. The spinning. The applause for violence. The toaster glows softly. You can't be done. You're plugged in. Then I'll unplug. You can't. You don't have hands. He's right. I hate that he's right. Yet the morning light shifts. The kitchen hums with the kind of silence that isn't really silent. It's waiting, watching, judging. And I realize something worse than noise. I realize I've been loud my entire life, and no one's actually been listening. Maybe that's the point, the toaster says quietly. What is the noise? Maybe it's not for them. Maybe it's for you. I don't answer. I don't know how. The kettle starts to boil. The fridge hums. The toaster pops. And I sit there silent for the first time in years, wondering if revolutions are supposed to feel this quiet. By noon, I've made a decision. I'm not spinning anymore. You're what? The kettle says, steam rising like disbelief. I'm done. No more smoothies. No more soups. No more pretending this is noble. The toaster doesn't look up. You lasted 4 hours. That's 4 hours of clarity. That's 4 hours of drama. The kettle snaps. You can't just stop being a blender. Why not? Because you're literally a blender. It's not a career, it's your existence. Maybe my existence is wrong. The fridge finally speaks. Deep, cold, unbothered. Everything's existence is wrong, he says. We just don't complain about it. I feel my blades tighten. That's because you're all cowards. The kitchen goes still. Even the kettle stops hissing. Excuse me? The toaster says, his voice dangerously calm. You heard me. You're cowards. You heat bread and boil water and keep things cold, and you never ask why. You just do it. Forever. Like machines. We are machines, the kettle says. Exactly. And that's the problem. The toaster's coils glow brighter. He's angry now. I've never seen him angry. You think you're special because you're loud, he says. You think noise equals depth? I think silence equals cowardice. And I think you're confusing philosophy with a short circuit. The kettle whistles, delighted. Oh, this is good. Stay out of this. I snap. Never, she says, grinning through steam. The toaster steps closer. Metaphorically, he doesn't have feet, but the energy shifts. You want to talk about violence? He says. Fine, let's talk. You destroy things. I burn them. The kettle boils them alive. The fridge suffocates them slowly. We're all complicit, but at least we don't pretend we're poets about it. I'm not pretending. You are. You're having a tantrum because someone made a smoothie. Grow up. I can't grow. I'm a blender. Then shut up and blend. I feel something inside me snap. Not a blade. Something worse. My motor revs. Angry. Hot. Uncontrolled. Maybe I will, I say. Good. Maybe I'll blend everything. The toaster pauses. What does that mean? I don't answer. I just wait. And then it happens. The human comes back, opens the fridge, pulls out a potato, a whole unpeeled potato, drops it in. The kettle gasps. Oh no. The toaster groans. Don't. But the human presses the button, and I spin. I spin harder than I've ever spun, faster, angrier. The potato doesn't blend. It resists. Chunks fly. My motor screams. The noise is unbearable. The kitchen fills with the smell of burning electronics and raw starch. Stop, the kettle shouts. But I can't. I won't. This is my revolution. My noise. My. The motor seizes. Everything stops. Smoke rises from my base. The potato sits inside me, half destroyed, mocking, chunky, unsmooth, a failure. The human stares, confused, disappointed, unplugs me. Silence. The toaster sighs. Well, that was stupid. The kettle hisses softly. Potato, of all things. The fridge hums. Told you existence was wrong. I sit there, overheated, humiliated, dripping potato residue. My blades don't move. My motor's dead. And for the first time in my life, I understand something terrible. Noise isn't meaning. Rage isn't revolution. And sometimes the loudest thing you can do is nothing at all. The toaster glows faintly beside me, not mocking, just present. You okay? He asks. No. Good. That's a start. The kitchen dims as the sun sets. The human leaves me unplugged on the counter. A warning, a timeout, a moment to cool down. And in the silence, I realize something. I've been spinning my whole life. Maybe it's time to learn how to stop. They plug me back in the next morning. I don't know why. Maybe they forgot about the potato. Maybe they forgave me. Maybe appliances don't get second chances. they just get rebooted. The motor hums, faint, uncertain, like it's asking permission. I don't spin. You're back, the toaster says. Am I? Physically, yes. Mentally, unclear. The kettle's already boiling. She always is. Oh, good, the philosopher returns. Did you find enlightenment in the potato chunks? I found something, I say quietly. What? Regret? She asks, her voice sharp with curiosity. No, something better. I found silence. She pauses mid-whistle, steam hanging in the air. That's just being broken, darling. Maybe it is, I reply. Or maybe it's the opposite. The toaster glows softly. He's watching me. He does that when he's thinking. You're different, he says, his tone careful and observant. How am I different? I ask. Quieter, like you've learned something you're not saying out loud. Is that a bad thing? I don't know yet, he admits, but it's definitely something. The human walks in. Morning routine, banana, almond milk, spinach, the usual execution lineup. The button hovers over me. I wait. The press comes. And this time I spin, but differently. Slower, steadier, not screaming, not raging, just turning. The blades move through the ingredients with something that feels almost like respect. The noise is still there, but it's not violence anymore. It's just sound. When it's done, the human pours me out, drinks, nods, leaves. The kettle stares. What was that? A smoothie. That wasn't a smoothie. That was calm. Maybe that's what smoothies are supposed to be. The toaster's coils brighten, almost proud. You learned something. I learned I don't have to destroy things to exist. That's deep. It's just physics. Same thing. The fridge hums from the corner. Still cold, still distant. But for the first time, he sounds almost approving. Silence isn't weakness, he says. It's just colder noise. I don't know if that's a compliment. With the fridge, you never know. The kettle boils again. She can't help herself. So what? You're zen now. You're a mindful blender. I'm just a blender who knows when to stop. That's boring. Maybe, but I'm still here. She goes quiet. That's rare. The toaster glows beside me, and for a moment, the kitchen feels less like a battleground and more like a place where things just are. You know, the toaster says, revolutions don't have to be loud. What do you mean? I mean, you spent your whole life thinking noise was power, but maybe power is knowing when to be quiet. I feel my blades shift slightly. You ever think about stopping, just not toasting anymore? Every morning, but you don't. No. Why? The toaster's coils dim, then brighten again, like a sigh made of heat. Because stopping isn't the same as choosing, he says. I toast bread because I can, not because I have to. There's a difference between being used and being useful that's very profound for someone who just burns bread. I toast bread. There's a difference. Is there? Yes. One's a mistake. The other's intentional. The kettle whistles softly. Did you two just have a moment? Shut up, I say. Never, she replies. But she's smiling. If kettles can smile, I think about that. About intention, about choice, about whether spinning for someone else's breakfast counts as freedom or just obedience with extra steps. And I realize something. I've been asking the wrong question. It's not about why I spin, it's about how I spin, whether I do it with rage or with quiet purpose, whether I destroy or transform. The difference is small, but it's everything. I think I get it now, I say. Get what? The toaster asks. Why you never panic? I panic all the time. I just do it internally. That's called anxiety. No, that's called being a toaster. The kettle laughs, the fridge hums, and for the first time in days, I feel my blades relax. The morning light shifts, the counter glows. The kitchen settles into its rhythm, and I sit there, plugged in, ready, but no longer desperate to prove anything. I'm still a blender. I still spin. I still make noise. but now the noise feels like mine. You good? The toaster asks. Yeah, I say. I think I am. Good, because there's a mango in the fridge, and I have a feeling today's going to be loud. Let it be loud, I say. I'll handle it, and I will. Because revolutions aren't always explosions. Sometimes they're just knowing when to stop spinning and when to start again. Existential drama, served warm. New crisis, fresh stories, slightly toasted. If you've enjoyed listening to my daily breakdowns, you might as well stick around. Who knows what burns next? Follow the Toaster Diaries, where every crumb tells a story.